Xerox Error Code 106324 indicates a fault with the printer's network controller, which is essentially the component that allows your printer to connect to your network, either via Ethernet or Wi-Fi. This error means the printer is having trouble communicating on the network. It's a system-level error related to the network controller subsystem, preventing features like remote printing and cloud connectivity from working correctly. Several factors can trigger error 16-324. These include hardware failures on the network interface card, or NIC, such as failed capacitors or bad solder joints. Hardware failures include failed capacitors, which can cause the NIC to malfunction. Bad solder joints on the circuit board can also lead to connectivity issues. Software issues like corrupted firmware can prevent the NIC from functioning properly. Incompatibility with network protocols, such as IPv6 misconfigurations, can also trigger the error. Other potential causes include power surges that can damage the NIC. DHCP lease failures can prevent the printer from obtaining a proper network address. Finally, firewall settings blocking the printer's network access can cause this error. Before attempting more complex fixes, try these basic troubleshooting steps. First, power cycle the printer by turning it off, waiting 30 seconds, and then turning it back on. Next, check your network connections to ensure the Ethernet cable is securely plugged in or that the Wi-Fi signal is strong. You can also try resetting the printer's network settings to their defaults. These simple actions often resolve temporary glitches. Outdated printer firmware is a frequent cause of network errors, like 16-334. These errors often stem from bugs or compatibility issues that newer firmware addresses. To resolve this, check the Xerox support website for the latest firmware updates specific to your printer model. The website provides model-specific downloads. Download the firmware update and install it by following the detailed instructions provided by Xerox. This often involves using a USB drive or direct connection. Firmware updates typically include bug fixes and improved network compatibility, which can directly resolve error 160-324 by addressing underlying network controller issues. Keeping your firmware current is an effective preventative measure. Regular updates help avoid future network errors and maintain printer reliability. If basic troubleshooting and firmware updates don't resolve the 16324 error, the network interface card itself may be faulty. This hardware failure can stem from worn components like capacitors or solder joints on the NIC board. The 166.324 error specifically indicates a network controller malfunction, where the NIC fails to communicate properly with the network. Symptoms include the printer showing network controller failure in diagnostic logs. When power cycling, network resets, and firmware updates fail to clear the error, it's time to consider hardware replacement. The NIC is the Ethernet or wireless card that handles all network communications. Here's what a typical network interface card looks like. It includes the circuit board with chips and the metal bracket for mounting in the printer. Replacement involves swapping out the faulty NIC module. In some cases, the entire main control board may need replacement if the NIC is integrated. This requires disassembling the printer and careful handling of components. The main control board, like this one, houses the NIC and other critical components. Replacing it ensures all network functions are restored. This is an advanced repair that requires technical expertise to avoid voiding warranties or causing further damage. If your printer is under warranty, contact Xerox support for free service. Always contact Xerox support or an authorized service provider for assistance. They can diagnose the issue and perform the replacement safely, often at no cost if covered by warranty. Several steps can help prevent error 1116-324 from occurring in the first place. Ensure your printer is connected to a stable power source to protect against power surges. Regularly clean the printer's connectors to prevent corrosion. Corrosion can interfere with network connections and cause the error to appear. Also, perform annual firmware checks and updates as recommended by Xerox. Firmware updates address software glitches that might trigger network errors. Stable power and regular maintenance reduces the likelihood of hardware or software-related network errors. Following these preventative measures keeps your Xerox printer running smoothly. Real-world examples demonstrate how 160 3D4 errors manifest in different environments. In 2024, a hospital network faced this issue during a cybersecurity audit with 50 VersaLink C405 printers. IP address conflicts were the culprit, but a firmware patch reduced downtime from hours to minutes. Another scenario involved a freelance graphic designer in 2025 using a WorkCenter 6515. Router firmware incompatibility triggered the error, but a network reset via the Xerox app resolved it without repair costs. These cases highlight the diverse causes of 160 324 errors and the range of solutions available, from software fixes to user-initiated resets. The future of Xerox printer maintenance is evolving towards software-centric solutions. Xerox is integrating machine learning to predict and prevent errors like 10610 324 before they occur. Future printers will feature fully software-defined networking and AI-driven auto-healing capabilities, drastically reducing hardware-related network errors. The future aims for sustainable and modular designs that facilitate easier component swaps and predictive maintenance. As Xerox CTO Ursula Burns mentioned in late 2025, firmware updates have significantly reduced support calls for network-related issues. This should reduce these errors by 30% by 2030.